My name is Amy Baird, and my family and I joined Bluff Park back in the 90s. We were looking for a church home close to where we had moved.
I'm David, and this is my wife Kim. We have 2 children, Connor and Mia, and we're the Sprattleys. We have relocated here about 4 years ago from Texas.
So I'm Jessica, this is Sam Wilson. We have 2 daughters, Sydney and Sloan Wilson. We moved to the Bluff Park area in 2017, and after growing our family and getting through COVID, we started looking for churches in the area, something that was really important to us, and found the Gathering.
I do like to say that I came for my family, but I stayed here for me.
Came here and felt immediately like home for us. It was an opportunity to meet people and engage with fellow Christians, fellow Methodists for that matter.
We are here to glorify God and worship Him every day. And I do that through giving.
I think the reason we give is because we're called to do so. That's one of the, important tenets of our faith is to help, the church grow and our faith grow.
Talked about it with some other families in the church and friends of ours that we thought we could trust to talk about those things openly and honestly. And we had the realization of we gave a lot of money to eating out and to entertainment and to fluff in life, but we didn't really give to the church. And it was kind of a wake-up call for us and a time for us to say, hey, if we're going to do this right, if we're going to take our faith serious, if we're going to not just call on God to help us out when we're in, need of some spiritual issue or things like that, we needed to really invite God into our pocketbook.
My faith has grown leaps and bounds when I give in a huge manner as best I can. I see things every day that God has done, not just for me, but for those around me, those I don't even know. And I don't think I would have been connected like that had I not been in a servanthood of giving. I think other things would have gotten in the way.
So a couple ways that giving through stewardship has grown our faith is a trust aspect of it. There are times where we don't necessarily think we can give as much as we might want to, but in those moments, God has really provided for us beyond our expectations.
And we've really found that giving and making it a priority in our life has really changed our life and our focus. And instead of, at first we thought of it as a budget, as a restraint. But in fact, what it is once we give that, the rest we can spend however we want. It's actually quite freeing.
For me, it's all about how much I trust Him.
It's important to give because it does help strengthen your relationship with God.
The reality is once you kind of give up the reins to that rat race chasing and really start focusing on intentionally giving what is rightfully God's anyway, then you have this opportunity to really engage with God on a new level.
So in the recent past, I was able to connect with the difference in just giving and giving on a sacrificial level, which brought me to a point where I realized how that brings me to having to trust God completely and depend on Him completely. But for me, it was a game changer.
In those times that we're giving of our money or our time or our resources, we've really been trusting of God and relying upon Him to be a provider. There's times where, we may be giving more than we feel comfortable giving, or times that we can't give as much as we might want to, but in those times, God has really provided and gone beyond our expectations.
And from that, I have seen things I never would have before.
There's a freedom. There's a complete lift. There's a moment when your finances are not just that they're in order, but you don't worry about them anymore.
They stop running you.
Right. you have the opportunity to know that it's taken care of, and you're doing the right thing by making sure that you take what God has given you to take care of God's people.
And part of the way I worship him is to give, and give sometimes sacrificially to a point that, that because I want to see his kingdom grow and thrive.
We can't even imagine not having this community in our lives. It's just such a rewarding feeling, and God can do so much more with the resources than we ever could.
When you can do that and understand that that's what's happening, that sacrifice becomes something that you want to do. It's living into our call to be like Christ.
Because it's possible for anyone to get to a place that if they want to be as connected to God as you feel like some others are, and I've tried to be, giving in this manner helps churches thrive, people thrive. You don't just live the life, you can see it thriving, you can see God's kingdom thriving.
That sacrifice, believe it or not, turns into a joy, and then the joy kind of doesn't really feel like you're sacrificing anything at all.
I encourage you to dig deep, think about your whys, and for me, the purpose of being able to give as I do, when I can, how much, whatever that might be, has changed my life, and it can change yours too.